The average doctor in America out-earns almost everyone else in the country and still panics when the car needs a $600 repair. The smartest person in your office, the one everyone goes to for advice, might be one missed paycheck from disaster. This isn't about intelligence. It's about 5 invisible habits quietly draining smart, high-earning Americans. And reason number 4 is the one almost nobody sees coming, even though it's probably costing you the most money of all 5. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one is working against you right now. Here's a number that should stop you. As of mid-2026, the average American is saving only around 3 to 4% of their income. That's not the unemployed. That's not high school dropouts. That includes doctors, engineers, lawyers, software developers, people who are, by every conventional measure, smart. Meanwhile, total U.S. credit card debt just crossed $1.25 trillion, with average interest rates sitting above 20%. Smart people are not just failing to get ahead. Many are actively going backward. So why does intelligence not protect you from broke? Let's break down the 5 real reasons. Reason number 1. Lifestyle creep disguised as, I earned this. The smarter and more educated you are, the more you're expected to look successful. New job, new salary, and almost immediately a nicer car lease, a bigger apartment, dinners out that reflect your new status. Psychologists call this lifestyle creep, and it's brutal precisely because it feels justified. You worked hard, you deserve it. But every dollar absorbed into a higher standard of living is a dollar that never compounds. Here's the trap. Income and net worth are not the same thing. You can earn 6 figures and still have a smaller net worth than someone earning half that, because net worth is what's left after lifestyle, not what shows up on a pay stub. Reason number 2, analysis paralysis. Smart people are trained to find the optimal answer. In school, in your career, there was always a correct solution if you researched hard enough. Money doesn't work that way, and that drives high IQ people crazy. So instead of opening a Roth IRA today, they spend 8 months comparing brokerages, reading about tax loss harvesting, and debating index funds versus ETFs down to the basis point. Meanwhile, that money sits in a checking account, earning almost nothing while inflation quietly eats it. A mediocre decision made today almost always beats a perfect decision made 2 years from now, because the real engine of wealth isn't which fund you pick, it's time in the market. Now, the next one is the one that hits high performers the hardest, because it doesn't look like a mistake. It looks like confidence. And by the time most people realize it's been quietly costing them money for years, they've already lost a lot more than cash. Reason number 3, ego and the need to look smart with money. Boring is profitable. But boring doesn't feel good to someone who prides themselves on being sharp. So instead of quietly dollar cost averaging into a total market index fund, smart people get pulled toward the exciting stuff, picking individual stocks, timing the market, chasing whatever's trending. It feels like using their intelligence. Often it's just an expensive way to underperform a simple index fund while paying more in fees and taxes along the way. Wall Street loves this. The financial industry profits when you trade, not when you sit still. And confidence is dangerous here. Studies on investor behavior consistently show that the more certain someone is they can beat the market, the more likely they are to underperform it. Reason number 4. They never studied the one subject school skipped. You can graduate at the top of your class in America without ever being taught what a credit score is, how compound interest works, or what an employer 401k match actually means. That gap gets expensive. Right now, nearly half of U.S. cardholders carry a credit card balance month to month. And the average interest rate on those balances is over 20%. That means someone who's brilliant at their job can still be quietly handing thousands of dollars a year to a bank. Not from a lack of intelligence, but from a lack of exposure. Intelligence in one domain doesn't automatically transfer to another. Nobody's born knowing this stuff. It has to be learned, and most people never are. That was reason number 4, the one I told you about at the very start. But there's one more mistake, and it's the one that quietly puts a ceiling on every smart, hard-working person's income, no matter how much they earn. If you've ever felt like a raise never actually changes your life, this next one is why. Reason number 5. They treat their job as the whole plan. Smart, high-achieving people are usually excellent at their one thing, their career. So they pour everything into climbing that ladder, assuming a bigger salary will eventually solve everything. But a salary is one income stream, taxed at the highest rate, dependent on one employer, one industry, one body staying healthy enough to keep working. Meanwhile, actual wealth in the US is disproportionately built through ownership. Owning part of a business through stock. Owning real estate. Owning something that earns money whether or not you personally show up to work. Being excellent at your job is necessary. It's just not sufficient. None of this requires more intelligence. It requires different defaults. First, automate your savings and investing before you ever see the money, so lifestyle creep can't touch it. Second, pick a good enough simple plan today instead of hunting for the perfect one. A boring, diversified index fund beaten consistently over decades outperforms a brilliant plan you never actually start. Third, treat personal finance like a subject you were never taught because you weren't. Give yourself permission to learn it now instead of assuming you should already know it. And fourth, build a second stream, however small. Even something modest that isn't tied to your one job starts shifting you from income toward ownership. Being smart got you the job, the degree, the respect. But money doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards systems. Build the system once and let it run, quieter than your ego ever could. If this hit home, subscribe for more breakdowns and drop a comment. Which one of these 5 hit you the hardest?